Welcome back to Midnight Declassified. This is where we dive deep into mysteries that remain unsolved, stories that governments, scientists, and even history itself seem determined to keep hidden. If you've been with this channel for a while, you already know, we don't just recount events. We analyze, we question, and we search for cracks in the veil of secrecy. Tonight, we revisit one of the most recent discoveries at Skinwalker Ranch, the most infamous location in the United States for unexplained phenomena. If you've come to this video, chances are you've already heard countless stories about the ranch, UFOs, supernatural encounters, shadowy figures lurking in the dark, strange lights in the sky. But those tales have been repeated far too often. What we focus on here is not rumor. It is the newest evidence, publicly revealed, documented, and impossible to ignore. According to The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, Season 6, Episode 11, which aired on History Channel in August 2025, the research team led by Dr. Travis Taylor and scientist Eric Bard revealed that during a drilling operation into the mesa, the rocky formation at the heart of the ranch, they discovered strange ceramic fragments nearly 496 feet below the surface. At first, a few ceramic shards might not sound remarkable, but these were not fragments of ancient pottery. XRF analysis revealed they contained nickel, cobalt, and even thorium, and more importantly, they exhibited properties that modern science is only just beginning to grasp: superconductivity and self-healing behavior. If that is true, then what we're dealing with is not natural stone, nor simple pottery. It is advanced, engineered material. The question is, how long has it been buried deep within the mesa, and who put it there? But that's not all. Alongside the ceramic fragments, archaeologist Chris Roberts uncovered a nickel dated 1964 in the drilled debris. And when the team cross-checked historical aerial images of the area from the 1960s, they discovered that all photographs from 1964 to 1968 were missing, while the only surviving image from 1969 showed obvious signs of tampering. This suggests that there was once a secret excavation and that there has been a deliberate effort to hide the evidence. Put together, the picture grows darker. A single coin, missing photographs, a massive object detected by radar buried deep within the mesa, and fragments of material displaying properties far beyond anything known to human technology. This is no longer a tale of lights in the sky. This is about hidden technology that may have been buried here for decades. So what is it? A relic of a classified Cold War program, an abandoned experimental device, or is it evidence that something not of this earth once touched down here and was quietly covered up? In the rest of this video, we'll go through each piece of evidence step by step, analyze what it means, and explore the theories it raises. This isn't History Channel story, nor anyone else's. This is our own investigation, Midnight Declassified, as we push deeper into the fog that still shrouds the truth. In The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, Season 6, Episode 11, which aired on History Channel in August 2025, the research team revealed a discovery that at first seemed small, but carried enormous weight: a 1964 nickel. It was unearthed by archaeologist Chris Roberts in the drill debris taken from nearly 496 feet deep inside the mesa. How long had that coin been buried there? Could it have simply fallen in with the soil over the decades, or was it deliberately placed as a marker? Roberts, drawing on his archaeological expertise, immediately offered a troubling interpretation. In official excavations, it is common practice for archaeologists to bury a coin to mark the year of the dig. If that is the case, then the 1964 nickel was no accident. It was evidence that a secret excavation had once taken place at Skinwalker Ranch, in the very same spot where the current team is now drilling. When the researchers examined historical aerial photographs of the mesa from the 1960s, another anomaly appeared. Between 1964 and 1968, Not a single image could be found in the archives. The entire set of records had vanished, and the closest surviving photo, from 1969, showed obvious signs of tampering. Eric Bard used AI analysis to study the image, and the program highlighted a leaf-shaped area that had clearly been blurred or smoothed by hand. In other words, the photograph had been altered. If there was nothing to hide, why would 5 years of images be erased? And if nothing suspicious had happened, why manipulate the 1969 photo? All of it suggested that something significant had occurred in that time frame, and that there had been a deliberate effort to conceal it from public view. While the questions surrounding the mesa's secret history remain unanswered, the scientific evidence being uncovered today only makes the mystery darker. In that same episode, geophysicist Jan Frank deployed specialized ground-penetrating radar. He lowered the probe into Borehole 1, the first drill hole in the mesa, and the data that came back left the team stunned. At a depth of around 270 to 280 feet and about 12 feet away from the borehole appeared a massive object, at least 6 feet thick. The data showed it was completely distinct from the surrounding environment. Not natural rock, not ordinary soil. At the same time, Sam DeRiso conducted magnetic and gamma radiation measurements. His results matched the radar scan. At precisely the same depth, there were strong anomalies, just as if a giant metallic mass lay hidden inside the mesa. The conclusion was inescapable. Beneath the stone lies a man-made structure, a solid object buried hundreds of feet underground. And then came the most baffling evidence of all. Mixed in with the drill spoils from that area were strange ceramic fragments. At first they looked unremarkable, but when Eric Bard ran them through XRF analysis, the results shocked the team. They contained nickel, cobalt, and thorium, elements that should never be present in ordinary clay ceramics. The next test was even stranger. When placed near rare earth magnets, the fragments displayed bizarre magnetic behavior, sometimes strongly attracting, other times repelling, exactly like a superconducting material. In modern science, superconductivity is one of the greatest technological enigmas, a property that allows energy to be transferred without any loss, and that interacts with magnetic fields in extraordinary ways. It's being studied for maglev trains, experimental propulsion, even advanced weapons. Yet even in the world's most advanced laboratories, superconductivity can only be achieved under extreme conditions. And yet, here, deep inside a rocky mesa, were fragments that appeared to possess those very properties. To make matters even stranger, the ceramic samples were taken to Utah Valley University, where Dr. Brian Patchett and his research team placed them under a scanning electron microscope. What they witnessed was almost unbelievable. The surface of the ceramic, initially solid, became porous under the electron beam, opening up into countless tiny holes. But when the beam was switched off, the surface closed back up again, almost as if the material was healing itself. Patchett, a man with years of experience working on advanced aerospace materials, stated that he had never seen anything like it. A more detailed analysis revealed that the material contained a high concentration of carbon combined with aluminum, the very same foundational formula used in the development of stealth coatings applied by the US military to make aircraft invisible to radar as far back as World War II. This meant that the ceramic not only exhibited superconductive behavior and the ability to self-heal, but it also carried stealth technology within its composition. All of these findings, the 1964 nickel, the tampered photographs, the massive metallic object inside the mesa, and the ceramics with such advanced properties, point in one direction. Someone already knew this object existed. Someone had once drilled into it, buried it deeper, and erased its trace from the records. And now, as the modern research team touches it again, the truth is rising once more to the surface. What makes the discovery inside the mesa so shocking is not only the fact that a massive metallic object lies dormant within the mountain, but also the strange material fragments found surrounding it. In The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, Season 6, Episode 11, which aired on History Channel in August 2025, the team revealed that the ceramic fragments recovered from nearly 496 feet below the mesa had an exceptionally unusual composition. Eric Bard used XRF analysis, X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy, and the results confirm the presence of nickel, cobalt, and thorium. These are elements never found in ordinary clay ceramics. What does this mean? Normally, ceramics are made from clay, silica, or mineral blends, but these fragments contained metals associated with high technology. Nickel and cobalt are common in superalloys used for jet engines or high-capacity batteries. Thorium, a radioactive element, has long been researched for use in nuclear energy technology. From their very composition, these fragments suggested they were not formed naturally, but instead engineered for a technical purpose. The next experiment was even more astonishing. When placed near rare earth magnets, the ceramic fragments displayed anomalous magnetic behavior, sometimes strongly attracting, other times repelling. The research team, including Dr. Travis Taylor, immediately compared this to the properties of superconducting materials. Superconductivity is one of modern science's greatest ambitions. It allows for 100% efficient energy transfer with no loss whatsoever. A superconducting coil can hold and transmit electricity indefinitely without any added input. It also interacts with magnetic fields in bizarre ways, both attracting and repelling, even creating the effect of levitation, the same principle used in maglev trains today. But there is a problem. Achieving superconductivity currently requires extreme conditions, temperatures near absolute zero, 273 degrees Celsius, or rare exotic compounds, and even then, only inside specialized laboratories. And yet here, deep inside a rocky mesa, fragments of ceramic appeared to demonstrate those very same properties. Yet, at Skinwalker Ranch, ceramic fragments recovered from hundreds of feet below the mesa exhibited superconductive behavior, right at room temperature. If this is true, then this material not only surpasses civilian technology, but even exceeds the capabilities of the world's most advanced laboratories today. And it doesn't end there. When the samples were taken to Utah Valley University, Dr. Brian Patchett and his team witnessed a phenomenon that left him exclaiming he had never seen anything like it in his life. Under a scanning electron microscope, SEM, the surface of the material, solid at first, suddenly became porous, opening into countless holes when struck by the electron beam. But once the beam was turned off, the surface closed itself back up. Patchett described it as healing, self-repair. Pause for a moment and consider the implications. A material that is not only superconductive but also capable of healing its own surface at the microscopic level after being damaged. This is something that even the most advanced aerospace materials in existence today have never achieved. In modern aviation, researchers have been experimenting with self-healing polymers, able to patch small cracks under heat or pressure. But that is only an early step, far from reaching the level of a living material capable of restructuring itself at the atomic scale. And yet, here we are, seeing such behavior in a ceramic fragment taken from deep inside a mesa in Utah. Further analysis revealed the material contained a high concentration of carbon combined with aluminum. Instantly, this called to mind stealth technology designed to hide objects from radar. During World War II, the U.S. military used mixtures of carbon and aluminum with binding agents to coat vehicles, preventing radar waves from bouncing back. That technology later evolved into the coatings for modern stealth aircraft. And now, the same formula appears in the ceramic fragments pulled from the mesa. Think about it. A shell encasing a massive object within the mountain, potentially superconductive, capable of self-healing, and invisible to radar. If this is true, then the object in the mesa is not just a lump of metal, it is a structure wrapped in advanced technology designed both to protect it and to conceal its existence from detection systems. Taken together, the 1964 nickel, the tampered aerial photographs, the enormous buried object, and the advanced ceramic fragments all point to one clear conclusion. This is not a natural phenomenon. This is engineered technology, and it is technology far beyond anything humanity has publicly mastered, at least since the 1960s, when the first signs of a secret excavation appeared. The next question, and perhaps the most terrifying of all, is, who does this technology belong to? Looking at all the evidence, one thing is certain: whatever lies beneath the mesa is not natural. It was created, designed, and encased in a material with properties far beyond civilian science, and it has been there since at least the 1960s, if the nickel and the missing photographs are to be believed. So, who does it belong to? The first hypothesis often mentioned is that it was part of a top-secret U.S. government program during the Cold War. The 1960s marked the peak of the arms and space race. It was a time when the United States was experimenting with new technologies to gain an edge over the Soviet Union, from next-generation nuclear weapons to advanced radar systems to stealth aircraft. It is possible that Skinwalker Ranch once served as a covert testing ground for a classified material technology. If that were the case, then the 1964 nickel would not be an archaeological marker, but rather evidence of a military excavation. The missing aerial photographs from 1964 to 1968 and the manipulated 1969 image could well be proof that the military had indeed operated there, and then erased all traces so the public would never know. But this theory has its flaws. If it were truly American technology, then why, more than 60 years later, have we still never seen a material capable of room-temperature superconductivity, microscopic self-healing, and radar invisibility all at once? If such technology had been tested in the 1960s, it should have completely reshaped the world by now, and yet, it hasn't. That casts serious doubt on the military explanation. The second hypothesis, far more unsettling, is that it could be extraterrestrial technology. Some believe that the object inside the mesa might be an alien spacecraft that crashed and was buried. The ceramic shell would then be its outer hull, engineered not only to withstand impact but also to conceal its presence from detection systems. This could also explain why UFO activity is so frequently reported around the ranch. If an alien craft is truly lodged within the mesa, it may still be emitting signals or energy, drawing in the very phenomena that countless witnesses have described. And if that is the case, then the discovery of the 1964 nickel suddenly fits perfectly. Perhaps an excavation did take place at that time, and perhaps the US government tried to access the object, only to realize they could not move it or control it. The only option was to hide it, to erase the photographs, to cover up the information, and to bury it all back within the mesa. The third hypothesis, less often spoken about but no less troubling, is that of a hybrid scenario. In other words, the US government may have discovered a non-human object decades ago. They accessed it, took samples, and began studying the technology, but never disclosed it to the public. Superconductive materials, self-healing ceramics, stealth coatings. These could all be fragments of alien technology that humans have attempted to reverse engineer but never fully replicated. What we know in modern science may only be the faint shadow of the original technology still lying within the mesa. What is striking is that all of these hypotheses share one common thread. Someone knew, and someone tried to cover it up. The signs of suppression are too blatant to ignore. The 1964 nickel was no accident. The missing records from 1964 to 1968 were no coincidence. And the altered 1969 photograph is outright evidence of a deliberate cover-up. So the final question is not, is there an object inside the mesa? That answer is already clear. Yes. The real question is, why are we not allowed to know about it? If it is military technology, then it was buried instead of developed. If it is extraterrestrial technology, then it was locked away instead of revealed. And if it is a combination of both, then the truth is far more disturbing. We may once have held in our hands a technology capable of changing the world, only to see it buried by forces intent on preserving secrecy, power, and control. Looking at all the evidence, one feeling becomes impossible to shake. What we see on television is only the tip of the iceberg. What remains hidden in the shadows is far greater, and perhaps the entire purpose of Skinwalker Ranch, the research, the drilling, the carefully measured disclosures, has been to prepare us for something far bigger, a truth the world is not yet ready to face. What we've just examined is not fiction. All of this was publicly revealed in Season 6, Episode 11 of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, aired on History Channel in August 2025. That is where Dr. Travis Taylor, Eric Bard, Chris Roberts, and Dr. Brian Patchett directly presented these discoveries: the 1964 nickel, the tampered aerial photographs, the massive buried object inside the mesa, and the ceramic fragments with superconductive, self-healing, and even stealth-like properties. Taken together, this evidence establishes an undeniable truth. Something artificial lies within the mesa. It is not natural rock. It was created, encased, and hidden from public view, at least since the 1960s. But the biggest question remains unanswered. What is it? Is it part of a Cold War-era black project? An advanced technology the government never revealed, ultimately left buried in the dark? Is it the remnant of an extraterrestrial craft that fell to Earth in Utah, hidden away and left to slumber for decades? Or is it a combination of both, a non-human artifact discovered, studied, and then buried again to preserve the interests of a powerful few? We don't have the answer, and perhaps it will be a very long time before that answer is ever disclosed. But one thing is certain: Skinwalker Ranch is not merely a place of strange lights and eerie legends. It is a site where technology, whether human or not, has been entombed. And the more evidence comes to light, the harder it will be to keep the truth buried. The question I want to leave you with tonight is this: are we truly ready to know the truth if it were revealed tomorrow? Thank you for watching Midnight Declassified. If you want to continue venturing with us into mysteries that remain unsolved, from extraterrestrial technology and government conspiracies to strange and unexplained disappearances, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Every week we'll bring you a new story, a different perspective, something to ponder as you drift off to sleep. Have a peaceful night. And remember, there are secrets lying just beneath our feet, waiting to be uncovered. Good night.